بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم أما بعد عن عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله تعالى عنه قال هذان يومان نهى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن صيامهما يوم فطركم من صيامكم واليوم الآخر تأكلون فيه من نسككم متفق عليه. It is narrated by Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu that he said that there are 2 days on which Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam prohibited us from fasting. One, the day of breaking fast from your fast, i.e., from the fast of Ramadan, and the other day is the day in which you eat the meat of animals you sacrifice. This is a very eloquent hadith in which Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu conveys the prohibition of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to us regarding fasting on certain days, and he does so very concisely using 2 phrases, يوم فطركم من صيامكم and تأكلون فيه من نسككم. Each of these 2 phrases give us 2 pieces of information simultaneously. One, the day on which fasting is prohibited, and 2, the reason why fasting is prohibited. Each phrase gives us these 2 pieces of information simultaneously. So we see a very good example of the articulacy and eloquence of the Sahaba at that time. Now, from this hadith, we learn a few things. Firstly, we learn that it is prohibited for us to fast on the 2 days of Eid. Eid al-Fitr, which is on the 1st of Shawwal, and Eid al-Adha, the 10th of Zulhijjah. Fasting on Eid al-Fitr is prohibited because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made Eid al-Fitr the day in which we break our continuous streak of Ramadan fast. Someone could think that I have been fasting for 29 or 30 days continuously, and I feel very motivated, and now I want to be even more pious, and I want to fast on the day of Eid as well. So my streak increases to 30 or 31. We are prohibited from doing so, and we have to break this streak of continuous fast of Ramadan, and we have to have a gap between the fast of Ramadan and other fasts, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded us to do so. And from this we learn a very important lesson, that Islam is about obeying the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is not doing what we feel like doing. We also learn that the acts of worship have no intrinsic reward in it if it is against the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From the second phrase, we learn that fasting on the day of Eid al-Adha is prohibited because it is the day in which we are supposed to eat the meat of animals we sacrifice. We sacrifice animals on Eid al-Adha for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and in turn Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is feeding us the meat of animals we sacrifice. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us this in the Quran, فَكُلُوا مِنْهَا وَأَطْعِمُوا الْبَائِسَ الْفَقِيرَ. So eat from it and feed the miserable and poor. So if we fast on the day of Eid al-Adha, it is as if we are rejecting this command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to eat from the meat. That is why fasting is prohibited on Eid al-Adha. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all our fast, tarawih, and other good deeds that we have done this Ramadan, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us for our shortcomings and grant us His pleasure. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.
اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد